Hello. Hello, hello. Hello there. How you doing? Oh, God. I've literally just got back from work, only like an hour ago? Less than that. I've eaten some pizza. I'm in my dressing gown. Life is good. Ugh. He says, as he just sort of throws stuff around. You alright? How's everyone doing? We're doing okay. You are doing well? Very good. Oh, there we go. Just made myself a drink and everything. Stuff vaguely in the right place. You know, that'll do. Cool. That on as well. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, you like the title. I was like, I got back and I was like, I see. What's people? Is Womble doing more armor editing? Is Digby playing DCS again? Or nope. Everyone's playing PUBG except for Edberg, who's playing Elite Dangerous, which are props to him. But yeah, like just 24-hour PUBG service. So I thought I'd do something that isn't PUBG. I thought I'd do some Cold Waters instead. So I was going to do the Long Dark, but and there is a but. I'm knackered basically. So I want something that doesn't really have as much of a consequence as is the Long Dark. Because fuck me. Like, that's going to be difficult, especially on a terrain that we've never played before, the Coastal Highway. That's going to need 100% of Joe's brain to get to work there. So, did Edberg just finished? That's it. I could stream for the King, but I don't know. Maybe when they make it a bit more streamlined, perhaps. But yeah, anyway, we're here for we're playing Submarine Game, which is cool. There we go. Hydrate. What a fucking crazy day it was. It's always a crazy day. It's never a quiet day. You know how it is. You go in every morning and everything's falling apart. And I'm sure tomorrow will be no different. So, let us load up ye olde Cold Waters. If the more astute of you will know that obviously the stream schedule, or whatever it is slightly, it's not right. It says we start at about 8:30. And instead it's 7 o'clock here in the UK. We're an hour and a half early, and there's a good reason for that. Our mum just got home from having like a fairly major operation, and so she'll be sleeping and stuff later, so I don't want to disturb her. So we're doing the streaming now, and then we can sleep it off later, and frankly I'll be having an early night as well. So let's play some games for the moment then. So we got Cold Waters here. Let's load that up. I believe I still have a profile and everything made. Everything should work. I saw your very first stream, decided to wait a bit, Citrus. I'd still wait a little bit longer. It's getting there, but I wouldn't say it's 100% there yet. Cool. So I think everything's working. As I say, we ages ago we redid the interface as such. I say ages ago. Yesterday we redid the interface, and we actually moved over to Streamlabs from Stream Pro, the thing that governs the everything basically. So yeah, one of those ones. We're actually playing a vanilla game for the most part. I actually had to take the mod off, the more playable subs mod that lets you play as the Russians, because it is slightly bugged at the moment and it's causing crashes, and the vehicle models are a little bit weird. So I'm waiting for a hotfix for that, so it's just vanilla game today. But I have turned it up to very hard, so that's cool. Sweet. So we'll see what's going on. How the fuck are you not even a Twitch affiliate, 42? Well, I haven't applied, to be honest. You have to... the problem is we're just rebooting streaming recently, well, as of yesterday, basically, regular streaming, so... what you basically have to be a regular streamer, basically, and we haven't built up that level of rapport yet with the good people over at Twitch TV. So once we do that, everything will be fine, basically. So yeah, I'm just repositioning a few things. I've tidied up my room. Everything's a bit clearer. There's still wires everywhere because it's the sort of the hive. It's the central hub. But what can you do? Yeah, consistent, that's the one. Yeah, you have to consistently stream, basically. So that's something that we need to sort of work back in. That shouldn't be a problem. And after that, we get on the Twitch affiliate program. I was thinking there's something called the All Stars program for Streamlabs. I'm not entirely sure whether I'd bother, but you could. I mean, you could. Why not? But again, I don't know whether I'd bother. So, is Cold Waters basically just submarines trying to attack each other? Well, you play a NATO submarine from the 1980s in the theoretical Third World War against the Soviet Union, or what would be Russia. So, yeah, basically, it's fun and games. It's a lot of good stuff. Should be interesting, basically. Sweet. Right. Your voice is smooth like a newly opened jar of Nutella after you've removed the foil. That is, you could write that in a magazine there. Beautiful. Yeah. You don't shine if you don't glow. A lot like Silent Hunter, but yes, Silent Hunter but third person, if you like. They actually added a new mechanic to the game, which actually makes it a lot harder. Not to mention that our previous playthrough was played on realistic difficulty. I'm going to take us all the way up to Elite. I actually feel like, actually fucking, arse clenching, a real rough ride kind of thing. Because our previous Cold Waters stream wasn't necessarily easy, but it wasn't necessarily hard. So yeah, I've disabled the Iron Man. Or because I want it as Iron Man. We've got hide low solution contacts, which means we have to establish a high target solution before we're able to see the target in the 3D world and sort of immerse ourselves in it. We're getting rid of the event camera for the moment, like stuff happening. In fact, no, we'll keep the event camera. Just so that you see more of what's going on, actually, that makes sense. Speed multiplier is 1.5. That's the speed up. And the distance scale is the literal size of the map, so we want that 1-to-1. We want it to be as realistic as possible. Oh, fucking hell, here we go with the auto host. I timed that well, didn't I? What do you know? Welcome, friends. I need to put like a... I had a funny thought, like we've obviously got the donation thing and eventually we'll get the bits thing. I've sorted out the bits, like overlay, the bits announcement thing, but I was kind of thinking of having like a host like announcement, like a host alert thing on the screen, which is basically just an air raid siren, because that's what it is. Which is cool. Sweet. So we need to actually start the game. Yeah, Quebec, I don't feel like playing the Long Dark. We're a small... Yeah, there's no consequence in this. If I die, I just get to load another submarine. But in the Long Dark, there's passion. It's, oh, let's go. So, yeah. Cool. So, let's jump on into a campaign. They've changed it up slightly. We're going to do 1984. I'm not skilled enough to do a 1980 or 1968 campaign. So, we'll have to prep ourselves for that. Cool. A bit of a change in pace if you're one of Womble's lot. It's a slightly slower pace game, this. So, let's just go new save. Cool. Now we need to choose a type of submarine. This is the new mechanic. They've added a lot more information about the dimensions, which test depth isn't really dimensions, but I'll do my best to explain a little bit of what you're seeing here. Yeah, basically we've got to choose ourselves an attack submarine. I've got an idea on which one I want to play, but the thing that made this game a hell of a lot harder is this little yoke here, number of wires. Basically, in the old version of Cold Waters, every torpedo had its own wire, but now some ships, like the Narwhal here, which is the one I think I'm going to play, I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm going to play this one, only has 2 wires, which means you can only have 2 torpedoes active at once, which is a scary proposition actually. So rather than firing off a salvo of 4 torpedoes, I can only fire 2 that have wires, which is massive, especially in large fleet engagements. Is really going to change the dynamic of combat. So that could be worth looking at. We've also got the Sturgeon, Permit and Skipjack. The Skipjack has 6 torpedo tubes and only 1 wire. So that is scary. So I'm not entirely sure how we're even going to... how the Skipjack's even used anymore. They've also got information on the test depth. The Skipjack cannot go very deep, let me tell you. You can't fire torpedoes without wire guidance. Think of them as tow missiles, Shiv. Think of them as like do you know the wire-guided missiles on the Bradley infantry fighting vehicle? They have a little wire that trails behind them. Torpedoes here are exactly the same thing, but you can only accommodate 2 wires at once, which means if you've got 4 torpedo tubes, 4 torpedoes, if you fire all 4 of them, only the first 2 you fire will have in-flight, inverted commas, adjustments and navigation and stuff like that. Which submarine is your least favourite to US campaign in? My least favourite? They're all pretty good. They're all just as good as each other. Ignore that. My favourite is actually the skipjack here, or at least it was pre-patch. Probably my least favourite is the sturgeon. I'm not an overall fan of the speed. It's got a very deep test depth though, which is nice. A lot deeper than the Los Angeles class, which only goes to 950. But enough yip yapping. I think I'm going to play in the Narwhal, which was a one-off submarine designed in. It doesn't give me the year, but yeah, designed sort of in that Cold War era to make. That's very annoying. Hopefully that doesn't do that again. But basically to accommodate the fact that there was a low circulation power plant that had just come into the Forte, and they tried putting it in a submarine. I'm sure it says here the S5G plant, which has natural circulation, which means overall it is very quiet on passive sonar. So yeah, I think we're going to play in this one. I think. How do I feel about apple pie? It's delicious. The best of times. Oh, are they actually wire-guided? Yes, the torpedoes are wire-guided. You want to keep the wires because if an enemy submarine makes evasive manoeuvres, you want to be able to steer the torpedo after you've fired it, which is done by a wire. Just play Star Citizen. Yeah, it's true. Right, so then, let us cycle through to the game. So, from Com Subplant, or Subland, yeah, Com Subland, words. Commander Quebec, we are a commander of the USS Narwhal, SSN 617, or 71, sorry, which is an acronym for Nuclear Attack Submarine or whatever, and they wish us good luck in our new command. I'll read you in summary the situation, because I know a few of you here will be new to this game and don't really understand it. So, this is dated as the 1st of December 1984. There's going to be a series of new articles that explain the world's tyranny. So, it's foreign relations. New President-elect Ronald Reagan has begun his term in office by taking a harsh stance against the Soviet Union. The former Californian governor, once Democrat, is reputed for his anti-communist stance and for rooting out communist sympathizers in Hollywood in the 1950s. So on and so on. Next headline is Brezhnev's. Yes, analysis. The death of General Secretary Leonid Brezhnev is sure to result in considerable debate behind the Kremlin walls. The last decade has been one of stagnation and increased bureaucratization, I think, of the Soviet colossus. An unnamed diplomatic source was quoted in the recent Time articles stating that the constant provocations from the Reagan administrations have created an elevated and permanent anxiety concerning American aggression with the Bureau, we'll call them for short. President Reagan should think over words. But yeah, anyway, that's the gist of it. Is Reagan pushing the bear too hard? Probably. And I think there's. Can I skip through these? Space? Yes, that's right. Soviets down civilian airliner. They actually did this. This is one thing that isn't theoretical. Or part of the game's fiction. They did actually shoot down a civilian airliner. For some reason, they're all dated December 1st, which is interesting. Yep, some stuff going on there. Pershing missiles deployed in West Germany. Obviously, West Germany being us. So we deploy Pershing nuclear missiles in West Germany. And then they thought Operation Able Archer was the real thing. Oh shit, there you go. Baldwin 2000. Cheers, mate. The animation's so much smoother on Streamlabs. Here we go. We're gonna get Edna, our synthesized voice, to read it out. Go on.
If you stream more often, you have my sub for sure.
There we go. Cheers, mate. Good man. there we go, yeah. The animation's so much smart. I'm quite happy I moved over to Streamlabs, but I'm not entirely sure how it all works. But there seems to be a lot there. So yeah, thanks very much for that, mate. Cheers. Soviet Wombul attack. War declared. So then the Soviets storm across into West Germany, penetrating the inner German border in a surprise attack. Initial negotiation attempts break down, or broken down rapidly. That's right. So, this is the tactical situation. We are now in the game as such. So, the tactical situation reports that there is a wolf pack of enemy cruise missile attack submarines that will attempt to break into the North Atlantic within the next few days, where they will wreak havoc on NATO supply convoys headed for Europe. Primary objective is to locate and sink the enemy submarines. So basically we don't have any solid intelligence here, just that in the next few days in-game, which obviously is accelerated, there's like a strategic map that you're going to see. Oh, hang on. Let me just mute my mic here for a second. There's fucking the hell scream van is coming. It's gonna get... He's the same guy that comes up the road all of the time, but his thing's broken, so he can only play the first 3 seconds of the fucking ice cream van song. It's really weird. There we go. Never mind. Welcome to the UK. Right, okay, so let's rearm and repair. Do we want to take any alternatives? We've got 8 UGMs, 2 MOSSs, and some Mark 48s. We could take some TLAMs or some TASMs, but to be honest, we don't really have the room to. We could, but it's going to take too much time. So instead, we're going to keep the default loadout, Mark 48s being the standard NATO-issued torpedo for this class of submarine at the time. MOSSs are a mobile submarine simulator, which basically confuse enemy torpedoes into thinking that your submarine is the torpedo, so you're able to fire this torpedo away from you and have enemy torpedoes chase it because they think it's a submarine. And the UGMs are the surface-to-ground missiles. Just a sec. Okay, right. So, what we're going to do then, we're going to cast off anchor, and we're going to get ready to intercept. Now, you can kind of see the depth on the map. This is a new feature. I believe that signifies anything above 1,000 feet, so all of the shallow areas basically show the contours. So, we're in the Norwegian Sea, and it's deep water here. And I believe, there we go, there's our attack, or there's our submarine fleet. Intelligence is reporting it. So we're this little submarine here, and we've got to try and intercept them, and then we go actually into the 3D game. I just got swatted. That's right, there we go. So they're moving around the coastline. They'll try and break through somewhere around here. Not been spotted there. There we go. Oh, we've got our work cut out here. Go for an intercept course. There they are. There we go. So we've intercepted. So, Captain, we have a new sonar contact bearing 142, designates Sierra 1. EXO reports that our depth is at 600 feet below the surface, heading 123, and that our speed is making 20 knots. There is an overcast weather with a slight moderate breeze. And there is a very weak surface duct and thermal layer at 239 feet. So, Sierra 1 is the standard sort of NATO call sign. You know, you've got your phonetic alphabet, if you like, your Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. Submarines have their own version of the phonetic alphabet, and Sierra is to designate that the contact was identified on sonar. If you identified it, let's say, with the ESM mast, which is the electromagnetic sensor or something like that, the electro-sensory module or some shit, words, then it would be Echo 1 instead of Sierra 1, so that's a naming convention for it, basically. So we're in a naturally quiet submarine, so we're going to go to 10,000 yards, and we're going to try and suss them out. So these are enemy submarines, a wolf pack no less, so there's going to be multiple. So that's actually close to 15. Give us some breathing room. So,
rig ship for ultra quiet.
So we're immediately going to go in and rig ship for ultra quiet running. That slows the ship down to 5 knots. Once we reach the 5 knot mark, the background noise should become a bit more hospitable, and we'll be able to begin scanning for targets.
Sonar, new contact bearing 143, designated Sierra 1.
There we go. So let's check the conditions of where we're fighting. So the floor of the ocean is at 813 feet, and we've got a moderate thermal layer. So not particularly great. It's quite quiet on the day, 88 decibels. That's quiet in terms of submarine standards, so that's a little bit interesting. Quite light out, not much happening. So let's begin our designation of Sierra 1. So we've got a bank of signatures here. Let's change over to submarines. And let's begin searching for a contact that matches what we've found here. So this is our contact database, and this is what we've established contact with here in the water. So we've got to flick through the lines. Looks like it's a Charlie 2 SS
Con sonar,
GN.
Sierra 1 is classified as submerged submarine.
I'd say that matches pretty well. And pretty good, Unit Gamma. Thank you, mate. Right, so let's check out its weapons array. It's a 5,000-ton submarine, so pretty decent. 96 meters long. Test depth is 1,150 feet. It's a semi-quiet submarine running basically exclusively anti-submarine weaponry. So this is a nasty one. So, down here in the bottom left, I should explain, we've got a little bit of information. We've got our course, which means we are heading on bearing 123. Speed of 5 knots at a depth of 600 feet. Ignore these numbers for the meantime. The contact, Sierra 1 Charlie 2, is at bearing 149 from us. We do not know its course, so we don't know where it's heading. It is travelling at 10 knots at a range of 8,200 yards. Its target solution is 47%, which means sonar is 47% certain that that is the location of the Charlie 2. The only thing that is certain is bearing. So basically when you find a sonar contact, you always know what bearing it's on, but you don't know its distance. It could be right next to us, it could be further away. I would wager that it's slightly further away than sonar is saying it is. Good stuff. Is this PUBG? Yes, this is the new PUBG DLC. They're letting the new PUBG expansion. They're letting me pilot it for a bit. So, sonar says that the enemy is at about 400 feet. Now we're going to need to change direction soon, but for the moment the target solution is still climbing at a decent speed. A lot of this is waiting for the right moment. Let's check out our signature. So, the SNS computer basically determines, based on previous encounters, basically calculates whether or not we're detected. So, at the moment, running on the enemy's low-frequency passive sonar, we are at -8, which means they can't detect us. We're below the threshold, but if at any point they switch to active sonar, which is the classic, do you know, the pinging, the sonar pinging, that's active. If they switch to active sonar, they will detect us. And at that point, shit gets real, so we need to stay undetected. Target solution is improving. We can now see 291, so they're travelling slightly northwest, mostly west. Once the target solution improves to 95%, we will be able to visually see the contact, but at the moment, he's invisible. Right. There's a little bit of waiting. We just got to wait for the sonar to nail him down. He's pulling 10 knots, which means we're slightly harder for him to detect. There we go, 87% target solution. We will soon have visual. We are now certain of his position, and we are now tracking his course. Charlie 1. There we go, 95% target solution. There he is. There's our target. Welcome to the Charlie 2. Russian nuclear attack submarine, certified by the Umbrella Corporation. I have no idea what that is. You'd have to ask somebody in the Russian Navy what these insignias mean. Looks like he's coming up slightly. Again, we're sort of hiding around down here. Again, chances are we will get detected quite suddenly if he detects us. So yeah, gonna get interesting. So, you've got to remember there's a wolf pack of enemy submarines. The chances are that this Charlie 2 is not alone, but is in fact travelling in formation with a series of other ships. We're going to change heading slightly. We're going to come slightly more to our left. So, helm, set bearing, or set heading, 105.
Come left to 105. Helm aye.
Perfect. So we're just turning slightly. Just adjusting our heading. Now, if anything, this has made us more vulnerable to active sonar. I'm relying on the fact that we aren't going to be detected, mostly, to stay hidden here. We can't really change depth in this much water either, because if they launch a torpedo at us, we're buggered either way. Let's keep an eye on our signature. -4, low frequency passive. As soon as that dips towards 0, or sort of -1, that means that they will have established us as a contact. So at the moment we're totally invisible while he's using passive search. So we are just teetering on the threshold of being detected, because this is quite an advanced attack submarine that we're fighting here. Okay. What I'm going to try and do is just coast quietly past the fleet here and get myself into a better position to attack them from. This is a submarine simulator, and we're playing it on its hardest difficulty, so we have to treat all of their submarines with a bit of respect, because they have decent captains in. They're not like stupid or anything, and they don't cavitate for no reason. That's a different mechanic. I'll explain that another time perhaps. Yeah, so we're just tracking at the moment. If they switch to low frequency active, though, we are going to light up like a Christmas tree. And as soon as they detect us, that's it. Good night, God bless. We need to fire our torpedoes really suddenly. But they've also changed the Mark 48 torpedo to have snaking search, which is quite interesting. That really changes its chase potential, which is cool. We will fire soon, but we're way too close to fire now. What I want to do is pull a maneuver that involves us getting into the contact's baffles, which means coming around behind him. Basically, because of the noise generated by your own engines or your own propeller, enemy sonar, or even our own sonar, cannot see behind us, which means if an enemy submarine attacks us from the rear, we won't know about it until it's right on top of us, that being the enemy weapon. So we need to get behind him, basically. Oh, he's turning towards us. He's just made a course adjustment. He's not sped up though, so this just looks like a standard course adjustment. We're now at -3. Let's just turn away from him slightly. Helm, bring us bearing 057.
Come left to 057. Helm aye.
Oh, I know, we're getting close. You'll notice that our low frequency active is lowering as well. We are very close to him. He's going to fade into our baffles. Shit, -2. Right, he's going to detect us because he's moving faster than us. Helm, bring us around.
Come right.
We're going to have to engage him.
192. Helm aye.
He's now getting too close for comfort, so we're going to have to fire on him. We're going to bring the nose around so that we don't lose the wire when we fire. Yeah. Easy does it. Nothing quick about this one. It's nice and quiet. It's good. Go. The name of this game is Cold Waters. It can be quite tense at times. Like I say, we're playing it on elite difficulty, the hardest difficulty, which is why I'm taking it so slow and so cautious. Usually we're slightly more gun-ho, but with the changes to the submarines, now that they have like proper wires and stuff like that, it's going to get interesting. We're only at a head 1/3 as well. We're only pulling 5 knots, which means there's not much water rushing over the rudder here, which means turning is quite a slow affair. He's now turned away from us again, which means we can make a course adjustment direct to our 208.
Come right to 208. Helm aye.
Because we can begin manoeuvring into the target's baffles now. We're at -2. We're going to get spotted here if we're not careful. -4. We're still invisible. Hello, well this gives us a good opportunity to just talk in chat, just, you know, as it is. Usually I'm pretty focused on the game, but this gives me a nice opportunity to talk to you guys. Con helm I. -4. He's starting to get away slightly, but once we get a little bit closer into his baffles, then we'll do a bit more basically. So let's bring up helm control here. Let's bring us to... we're a little bit too close to be pulling ahead 2/3, so let's set speed to 6 knots. Can I do that?
Make turns for 5. Make turns for 5 knots.
Right there. There we go.
Make
Let's take ship out of ultra quiet.
6 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
No, the low frequency passive just dipped into the positive. He hasn't made a course adjustment, which means we are likely in his baffles now, within that 60-degree blind spot, so we're going to fire. Okay. Make ready weapon 3, set passive, so yeah, set homing to passive, snaking search, keeping it on same depth as target. Ship ready, weapon ready, shoot tube 3.
Shoot tube 3. Aye, sir.
Weapon running. Wire maintained. Torpedo running to target. Contact is as this time unaware to launch transient. Course and speed remain the same. He's not going evasive. The question is, where are his mates? Because once we shoot him down, shit's going to get interesting. So this is the enable point here. Once the weapon reaches this point, it will begin homing. And once it begins homing, that's probably when the enemy submarine will pick it up. No, I hate Gerben. I can't stand Soviet. Who is Soviet Womble? Here we go. So if the cone goes triangle, if the triangle goes red, that means we've established a target.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Weapon acquired, target acquired. We are now tracking the Charlie. Sierra 1 acquired. Enemy.
Con sonar, Sierra 1 is cavitating.
Okay, so the enemy is cavitating, which means they've just gone up to a head flank, which means their propeller is creating a load of bubbles. So they have now detected the weapon and they are going to attempt to evade. We're going to keep it on
Con
passive
sonar,
sonar.
noisemaker bearing 253.
So I've now taken manual control of the weapon to steer it through the countermeasure. Here we go.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Weapon acquired. Is he going to be able to outmaneuver this? He's pulling a decent speed. No, it's coming in from his side. He's going to try and outturn it. No, this is going to hit home. This is.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 256. Contact breaking up.
Fired from the dark, and the contact was destroyed. Our torpedo closed to within 1,000 yards before the enemy detected it, which means they couldn't get up enough speed to avoid it. Reload tube 3. So we're now out of ultra quiet mode, but now we have to wonder, are there any enemy submarines nearby? I can't see any. There are no enemy vessels nearby according to sonar, and there are no enemy weapons, so we have to assume that we've sunk the enemy fleet here, otherwise they'd try to react. So let's switch to active search, see if we get a response.
Con sonar, switching to active search.
One hit, one kill, exactly. So, some of you, while we're just waiting to see if we get any active sonar returns, I might as well tell you what the difference is between active and passive sonar. So, passive sonar is just, yeah, this is on Steam. It's called Cold Waters. Yeah, who's letting whales talk? There are actually whales in this. There's quite a funny tutorial mission where they have you engage an unknown contact with a torpedo, and it turns out to be a blue whale, and you hit it with a Mark 48 explosive warhead, and it just... the sea turns red. It's ridiculous. The waters are surprisingly clear. That's because the conditions are quite agreeable out. But yeah, you're right. The waters are surprisingly clear. There is a mod to change it, but at the minute, because this is the beta patch,
Torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
I decided not to install it. Cool. Right, so let's switch back to passive sonar.
Passive search.
And let's call it in. There we go. So, enemy engagement, Charlie 2, sunk. Weapons remaining, 15 MK48s, all UGMs and all MOSSs. No TSAMs or TLAMs were taken on mission. System damage, none. Report in. Excellent job on intercepting and destroying this high priority target. Stand by for further orders. So that was the one that we had to intercept. I am creating a Discord, Alex. I'll do it after this mission. Just be prepared, because obviously with our mum getting out of the hospital, if she needs anything, I may just have to like get up and go periodically. So yeah, if I have to disappear, that'll be why. You never explained... yeah, sorry, yeah, let me try and do a better job of explaining it just before I click continue here. So, Sub-killers, here we go, this is one of the world news articles. Incidents involving attacks on transatlantic convoys by hostile submarines in and around the North Atlantic have rapidly diminished. An anonymous spokesperson suggested increased NATO submarine operations in the area are a contributing factor. However, the Pentagon denies such claims. Without the threat of the attack from submarines, on transatlantic crossings, they are becoming more efficient and suffering fewer losses. If this improved influx of supplies and war materials can be sustained, NATO forces will be in a position to take the fight all of the way back to the Iron Curtain. There we go. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, basically, Mum had this like operation kind of thing, and she's literally just got out today. I was really surprised. She only had the operation 2 days ago, and it was like a fairly major op. I won't say what it is for her sake, but it was yeah, it was a major operation, and usually they'd keep you in hospital for like 10-15 years ago, they'd keep you in hospital for like 3 weeks while you recovered, just to make sure everything was okay. But these days, there's a shortage of hospital beds in the NHS, and it's just like, right, are you dying? If no, send home. That seems to be how it is. So yeah, she's back here now, but she's going to be out of work for a few weeks. So this is our next mission then from the comm supplant. Sounds like a failing rock band. Yeah, the Iron Curtain. There we go, loud, deliberate slurp. So, the tactical situation. Intelligence has... this is our next mission, I should say. Intelligence has discerned a pattern to movements of enemy at-sea replenishment tankers and tenders. A small enemy force, including 1 or 2 of these ships, is expected to sail from Archangelisk momentarily for a rendezvous near the Barents Sea. You are ordered to find and sink this group before it completes its replenishment of enemy forces. You may also get a chance at the enemy submarines this group intends to support, but the tenders and tankers are the primary mission target. So before I continue into the game, I'll explain what this mission is, and then what active and passive sonar is. So, briefly, what this mission is, there are some enemy cargo ships, be it cargo or fuel or oil, that kind of thing, that are moving to resupply some enemy attack submarines. We are going to sink the tenders and tankers before they resupply the submarine fleet. So they're going to be escorted by a couple of anti-submarine warfare escort ships, like light frigates and things. So we have to evade and or sink those, and then kill the tenders, the cargo tenders in the centre. I like to jump and fucking fly all over the place. So, there we go. Passive and active sonar. So, passive, you'll notice, when I switched to active, I was making that pinging sound. Passive sonar is the opposite of that. Basically what it does is it literally just listens to noise in the ocean, and if anything creates a particularly high frequency or high noise or a sustained rumble or anything like that, then it flags up as a sonar contact that can be then honed in using target motion analysis, which uses your position and then translates it versus the position of the target, using your speed and heading as a subject in the formula in order to identify the position of the target you're tracing. That's how passive sonar identifies things. Active sonar instead sends out a blast of sound and then waits for it to hit an object. Once it hits an object of significance, be it a whale or another submarine or a ship, it will then the sound will then reverb off it. It will bounce back, and the active sonar waits to listen for a reply. So it sends out a blast, that loud ping, and then the sound will bounce off of a target and then come back to the submarine. If it receives a return burst, that means it has hit something, and that there is a contact X distance away. And by measuring how much the sound has dissipated or how much the sound has changed, if you like, so how much noise has been reflected, basically determines how close and how large the contact is that you've found. One thing that can happen though, well, first things first, obviously active sonar immediately lights up where you are, because all of a sudden you're pinging off like some fucking crazy guy, and everybody in the ocean now knows where you are. You've revealed your position and broken your stealth. But what can happen is that if an enemy target is just, say, in range of your active sonar, then you will ping him and he will know where you are. But if the sound doesn't have the strength to return back to your submarine, you will not get his contact. So in that case, you've just counter-detected yourself. So you ping him, the sound reaches his submarine, bounces off it, he finds out where you are as a result of that, but the sound doesn't have enough energy to travel back to your submarine, and thus it looks like your sonar found nothing, or your sonar doesn't pick anything up. Whereas in reality, all you've done is tell the enemy where exactly you are. So you only really use active sonar as a last resort, or to force an enemy opponent into firing at you. So that's one thing. So yeah, there we go. One explanation. Quick question, what was that Russian submarine you sunk in the last round? It was a Charlie 2 SSN, which is a nuclear attack. It's a cruise missile submarine, actually. It doesn't fire nuclear missiles, but it can fire cruise missiles underwater, and they use them to like harass cargo tankers. Oh, so Sumsar hitting me with that wall of text. I'll read that in a bit. So let's carry on with the game. So let's continue on course. So we have to go up here to the Barents Sea, because an enemy a set of enemy cargo tankers is coming to resupply a submarine fleet. Lots of submarines in play. Loads of submarines in play. We have to evade them, he says as he bumps into one. So, Captain, we have a new sonar contact bearing 240 designated as Sierra 1. XO reports our depth is 600 feet, heading 128, speed 20 knots. Local conditions are scattered, strong breeze, no surface duct, no thermal layer. We shall close to 15,000 yards. Ship, rig for ultra quiet.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
So we're at 18 knots, we're going to coast down even lower. Let's check the conditions. 94 decibels, so it's quite loud, which basically hinders passive sonar. Active sonar isn't affected by ambient noise because it's an active search, but passive sonar
sonar new contact bearing
struggles slightly when the background noise is higher.
Sierra 1.
So, check map, reference, southwest, Bearing 243, contact. We can assume it's a submarine. So let's begin searching. A very scattered sonar contact here. Looks like we've got a high frequency line here and a high frequency line there, quite obviously. So let's line it up for this one and see what we find. A November. I would comfortably identify that as a November.
Sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as submerged submarine.
So, November, SSN, 4,750 tons. It is a 107 meter submarine. It's very long. It is a semi-noisy submarine that can pull 1,000 feet. It's got trout, cheek, medium frequency passive, and pike jaw medium frequency active. We're in no danger of being spotted by this guy. Not in this ship, anyway. Check the conditions. Target is running at about 400 feet. Let's change our direction to improve our TMA status. So, helm, bring us to 185.
Come right to 185. Helm I.
Obu said, sadly I had to turn ad block on because it seems ad muted stream for me. Oh, right, okay. That's weird. I don't know whether I can turn the ads off. To be honest, I wouldn't know about ads on Twitch because I've been running ad block for such a long time. I really don't know where adverts come in anymore. Like, I don't know, basically. Hunt for the Maroon November, yeah. I'm sure you'd agree that the water's a little bit more murky here, and that's because the weather is somewhat grimmer. There we go. So we still have an unknown bearing on the target. All that we know for sure is that he's at bearing 248 and that he's pulling 10 knots. We don't even know for sure that it's a November class, we've just assumed. So it's actually pulling away from us.
Course.
Bearing 201, it's making a course adjustment now. 192, 185. According to our signature, we are comfortably hidden from this guy. We really don't have much to fear from him. So is this game worth the dosh? Is it interesting? What is the learning curve? Is this game worth the dosh? Yes. Is it interesting? Yes. If you like submarines. What is the learning curve? A steep, like, the only reason I know as much about this game as I do is because I watch another streamer play it, and I thoroughly enjoy him playing it. It's a streamer called Jive Turkey. He's an American guy, and I've learned everything I know about this game from him. He is we're actually going to chase this guy, so.
Come right to 251. Helm I.
But he is an American, a retired American submariner. So a submarine guy. And he, basically, he, just... Is there actual combat here? Is it just moving around like a slowpoke? It's mostly slowpoking here. Yeah, so anyway, Jive Turkey, top quality. If you actually Google his YouTube channel, he has a YouTube channel, he has a series of tutorials about how to play this game. Very informative, very helpful. It's a nice place to start. But there is a bit of a learning curve to it. As far as why are we being such a fucking slowpoke, the reason is we're playing it on the hardest difficulty, and you have to play it like a real fucking submarine in order to complete the hardest difficulty and stuff. It's tough. So he's pulling 8 knots. We are basically invisible. We're totally in the contact's baffles. So let's bring us up to ahead 2/3.
Make turns for 10 knots. Maneuvering I.
So we're not
maneuvering, making turns for 10 knots.
Okay, so we can't go up to ahead 1/3.
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering I.
So what we're going to do, we're going to fire a weapon on this guy. We're going to snapshot him. We lost our contact bearing, or our contact mark, because we sped up.
Maneuvering, making turns for 5 knots.
So we're going to snapshot on the last known bearing of the November. We're going to run to enable roughly behind him, and then we're going to let it go. 12,000 yards. Ship ready, tube ready, shoot tube 1.
Shoot tube 1. Aye, sir.
Launch successful, wire retained. Moving to enable point. There we go, so off it goes. I think I found him. Jive Turkey, that's right, yeah. So if you're thinking of playing this game, or getting this game, I highly recommend looking at the tutorials on his channel. Because, yeah, fucking hell. Quality. Really nice guy. There we go. Right. Look, so very Noah the bird very astutely, which isn't a submarine joke. British people will get that. It looks like a sperm on the minimap. But you're not wrong, I suppose. I looked into the red and white umbrella symbol you saw on the Charlie 2, and I think they're the location of the emergency buoy. Interesting. I don't think they are giant sperms, or at least the last time. I don't think they are. So this torpedo, we've actually got weapon data here. So the weapon is at course 249. It is currently 2,500 yards from the boat, running at bearing 248 even. Its RTE is its range to enable, which is the point here on the map. This little blue square where the torpedo will begin searching for the target. At the moment, it is running totally on the computer's power. Basically, we've given it a set of GPS coordinates to enable at, and once it reaches those GPS coordinates, it will begin searching for a target. So at the minute, it is running without searching. And then once it gets there, it'll be fine. It has got a TTR. I'm not entirely sure what that acronym stands for, but it basically means we've got 15 minutes of fuel left in the weapon. Chances are the November isn't going to be able to evade us for 15 minutes. We're just going to change the enable point to 12,000 yards, bearing 248, just so it's slightly closer. Buoy. I've turned into a Yankee. This missile's slow as fuck. No, it isn't. It's moving very fast. The weapon's actually hauling ass here. It's pulling about 48, 52 knots, the Mark 48. The reason it looks so slow is because we're firing it over a huge distance. The weapon has moved over 5,000 yards since we fired it.
Regained contact on Sierra 1, bearing 259.
There we go. So we've re-established contact and he's moving slightly further north. So this is why you want to keep the wire on the torpedo so that we can adjust heading. Weapon, tube 1, adjust for bearing 264, range 15,400 yards. Let's fire slightly closer than that. Re-establish 261, range 10.9. The weapon will make its turn, and now it is retracking on this target. He's moving north, so let's set it on an intercept course. There we go. Do these torpedoes trail wire? They do have a wire, although it isn't visually rendered, but yes, they do trail wire. Like I say, it's not visually confirmed in the game, but yes, it does happen. The wire can get tangled, the wire can break. So, this should be fun. Oh, this isn't even our mission either. We didn't even have to sink this guy, but we might as well. Use the metric system like a normal person. I think
sonar, Sierra 1 is cavitating.
Sierra 1 is cavitating. He's at 200 feet, which is cavitation depth. Maybe he's detected the torpedo. He's coming up to 18 knots. Okay, he's definitely detected the weapon.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
So we're going active now. So what I did there was a little trick. So sonar is 55% certain that he's over here, but because he started cavitating according to our sonar operator, that means he's detected our torpedo while running passively, which must mean that he's closer, because it's very hard to detect torpedoes at long range. So I enabled the weapon early, short of its RTE point, and sure enough, the passive homing warhead on this weapon identified a target that's worth tracking. It might actually be a different submarine.
Con, fire control, weapon countermeasure homing.
It could be a totally separate submarine, but there is the enemy's countermeasure that they just dropped, and the weapon is going to have to search for him. There we go. Time to run. There we go.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
There we go. Weapon reacquired. It's tracking. Let's switch to active homing.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 270. Contact breaking up.
There we go. So we were correct. We were correct in our target designation. It was in fact a November, and it's beginning its long sink to the bottom. Ocean depth here is actually off the chart. It's well below 3,000 feet. So they're beginning a long trip to the bottom there. Am I ever going to play Silent Hunter? I'm not sure. Might do. Yeah, there was 105 people on board there. Brilliant. That's it. Brilliant. Right, well, off he goes. He's already sinking at a hell of a rate as well. He'll just disappear into the murky blue of the bottom of the ocean. So, actually, here we go. So, long-range sonar activity reveals that there are enemy vessels nearby. So this November was not, in fact, alone. Scary thought. So we are actually still in the fight. Now, this is one of those ones. I am going to load a mobile submarine simulator into Tube 1 because the enemy submarine that we are stalking here has not appeared once, which means it is a very quiet submarine. Which means we're going to have to dig it out with active sonar, which is going to be interesting. Basically, we are going to force the enemy submarine to fire at us. And then once we've forced him to fire at us, we're going to fire back along the bearing of the contact. So, wish me luck. We're going to wait for the mobile submarine simulator to load, and then we're going to try and bait a shot, basically. So what's this bubbling thing in the distance? Oh, that's the enemy submarine sinking. Yeah. Or at least I hope it is, otherwise it's an incoming torpedo. He's already reached crush depth. Yeah, he just broke apart. So there's not even any hull left. So he just cracked like an egg, basically. And turned into nothing. So I happen to know that the test depth of this ship is about 1,300 feet, so we can go down that deep if we have to. So, when did I start playing Cold Waters? A few months ago?
Room, tube 1 ready.
Right, let's see if we can tempt him out. Switching to active, because there's no hiding now. He heard that. Any ship, no matter how bad your sonar, hears an explosion like that. So, we're going to have to try and dig him out with active.
Con sonar, switching to active search.
Let's see if we can get a return. We're looking for a yellow line bouncing off our hull. Toda Azar. There he is. Contact there. Okay, fire. Tube 3 along the bearing of the contact. Weapon away. Fire Tube 3.
Shoot tube 3. Aye, sir.
Switch back to active.
Con sonar, switching to passive search.
Switching back to passive search. So we have an enemy weapon incoming. We know roughly how far it is away. We know he's just south of the November. There we go. So we baited him into shooting at us. Now, we have receded back into passive search, and so is he. Now, we're not going to go evasive just yet, but we are going to change our heading. We're going to come slightly north towards the November. Helm, make heading 277.
Come right to 277. Helm aye. Con sonar, new contact bearing.
There it is.
255. Designated Sierra 2.
Sierra 2 identified. Let's begin our target motion analysis. So, it looks to be a very similar case. It may even be another November, which is unlikely, but possible. We shall designate it as another
Con
November.
helm, steady course. Con sonar, Sierra 2 is classified as submerged submarine.
It's unlikely, but possible. Nothing else really fits the bill. Looks like it's another November, unless it's a... No? No, nothing else fits that one particular contact there, so it is definitely another November. Now we just got to dig the fucker out. Right, there is his incoming weapon. You can see that turbulence up there. There's an enemy weapon coming in, very shallow. He's running at surface, so let's bring our weapon up to surface depth when it enables. Okay, depth control. Make our depth 500 feet.
Make depth 500 feet, dive aye.
Negative, we want to go lower. Sorry, I didn't realise we were at 600 feet. Depth, dive, make depth 800 feet.
Make depth 800 feet, dive aye.
So this will begin sinking out the boat. There we go. Okay, 2 weapons incoming. It is beginning a snaking search.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Fire control weapon acquired, aye. We've got 2 coming in on us. So with the weapon acquired, we are going to cut the wire and we're going to dive deep. All ahead flank, maximum dive on the planes. Let's sink out the boat. Bring us deep so that these torpedoes come over the top of us.
Con sonar, Sierra 2 is cabin.
Passing 800 feet.
Reload tube 3.
Passing 900 feet.
Hold at 1,000 feet.
Make depth 1000 feet, dive aye.
Bring us ahead 1/3.
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Did I just move my mic? I might have moved my head. Let me try putting my mic back in front of me. Is that any better? I seem surprisingly calm with the torpedoes ingressing. There we go. Enemy weapons are coming deep.
Con maneuvering.
Let's go deeper. 1,300 feet.
Con
Make depth 1300 feet, dive aye.
Torpedoes are coming down. Make turns for ahead 2/3.
make turns for 10 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Turn away from the weapon, bearing 317.
Come right to 317. Helm aye. Con, helm, steady course.
It is another November, and our torpedo is stalking him. Is that a hit?
Con, sonar,
There it is.
lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 254. Contact breaking up.
There he goes. Successfully evaded. So that torpedo's in a snaking search coming past us, and this torpedo here is in a circular search. So we just got past. Let's have a look at the enemy weapons. I think those are these test TEST submarine, or are these U sets? I can't even remember. I wonder if we can see our submarine. That's that one. There it is. Much closer than you think. But the change in depth is too different, basically. So we need to turn away from these weapons. Let's start braking off northeast. Bearing 041,
Come
please,
right
helm.
to 041, helm aye.
And make turns for, let's bring us ahead standard, 15
Make
knots.
turns for 15 knots, maneuvering aye.
There we go.
Con maneuvering, making turns for 15 knots.
So those enemy weapons probably have about 10 minutes of fuel in them,
Con,
so we need to
helm,
open up
steady course.
bit of a distance from them. Let's change bearing to direct north. Let's try and get distance from both of them. So bring us to 000.
Come left to 000, helm aye.
Oh dear. Good stuff. Well, not bad. We sank 2 attack submarines and we
Con,
escaped to
helm,
tell the tale.
Steady course.
Haven't engaged. We're going to engage some surface contacts very shortly, so you'll get to see that. It should be fun. Let me know if the game's too loud, by the way. Is the game too loud? Am I loud enough? You can hear me? I'm hoping enough of the ambience is getting through, because it is very scary. Hearing the pinging. Knowing that at any moment those weapons could acquire you as a target, and then you're dead to rights. You've suddenly got a torpedo to evade. It would be cool if it had an internal camera, but in a game like this you can't really have an internal camera without any major reworking. It would be cool if they did, or if they gave us the ability to mod such a thing. I also wish they'd had multiplayer, but such as it isn't in yet, so soon perhaps. Why not go ahead flank to gain more distance? I could probably do that now, but I wanted to keep my passive signature low, so I wasn't going to.
25 knots, maneuvering aye.
So I might as well explain a basic mechanic. There's something called cavitation, which happens at shallower depths. I'll just show it to you. If I bring myself up to periscope depth,
Make depth 5 feet, dive aye.
so if we come up from 1,000 feet to a shallower depth, what you'll find is that because there's not as much water pressure, air pockets form around the propeller blades because they're spinning so fast. Do you know if you splash around in the bath, it creates bubbles? It's essentially the same thing here. Almost exactly not, but essentially. And those bubbles are very easy to detect on sonar, so you'll see we'll start cavitating soon. And this lights you up like a Christmas tree. If you cavitate, basically everyone knows where you are. There we go, we're coming up. We'll start cavitating in a second.
Con sonar, we are cavitating.
There we go. So pockets of air forming through the rapid rotation of the blades, creating a really loud sonar contact. So are we far enough away? Yes, we are. We can leave combat. After action reports: 2 enemy November-class attack submarines are engaged. Weapons remaining: 13 Mark 48s, 2 mobile submarine simulators, and 8 UGM-48s. Cruise missiles remain at 0. Systems damage none. Perfect. Good job, but this was not your mission. Continue to objective. There we go. So, world news, 4th of December 1984. West Germany falls to the Warsaw Pact. West Germany has fallen to Soviet control after crushing assaults on the nation's capital and key strategic points. NATO is scrambling to keep up with the Soviet offensive. Warsaw Pact strategy has insofar worked in Soviet favour. The situation in the Atlantic is growing serious as NATO has failed to respond to several successful Soviet attacks. Keeping supply lines open is vital for the Allied war effort, and failure to do so may result in a short to medium time frame, resulting in an Allied defeat. There we go. But we've got to like haul ass into the Barents Sea. Are we going to be intercepted? No, we've snuck through. Try and avoid that enemy air patrol. I think we were detected. Yep, they're coming ahead. There's the target very far north. Satellite just picked us up. Here we go. We have found their resupply point in the Barents Sea, very far north near the Arctic. We may even get some ice up here, so... Captain, we have a new sonar contact bearing 25, designation Sierra 1. EXO reports our depth is at 600 feet, heading 28. Our speed is 20 knots. Local conditions are overcast, gentle breeze, no surface duct, no thermal layer. Close us to 15,000 yards. Rig ship for ultra-quiet running.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Now, the Barents Sea is famously very shallow. So we've got to prepare ourselves for that because it's very shallow water, basically. So, take a sounding. Here you go. Depth is only 400 feet.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 2, bearing 029.
There we go. So, basically, the problem with water being this shallow is that I really can't put any depth between me and the target, and... yeah, well, that's basically our biggest problem. So, bring us up to periscope depth, please, dive.
Make depth 4, 5 feet, dive high.
So he's going to flood ballast and raise the planes to 10 degrees, and that is going to slowly bring us up to 4-5 feet. Once we break 4-5 feet, we are then going to raise the periscope and begin scanning for targets.
Bearing 039, designated Sierra 3.
So, Sierra 3 has just been identified, which means we have at least 3 sonar contacts. At least 3. Scary stuff, isn't it? There we go. Huge ice shelf out there. Told you we'd see some ice. Massive icebergs. Going to inhibit my moving somewhat. So, that seems to be a bit more accurate, 9,000 yards. Moving south. Coming up to periscope depth. Contact on the bearing of 42 degrees. Confirm. 6-5 feet.
Con sonar regained contact on Sierra 1, bearing 027.
Okay, holding at 4 feet, raise the periscope. Contact established. Identify. Master 3 has been established. Target is a... say, just establishes it as a Master 3. This must be a part of the elite difficulty, so we'll have to manually identify it. Go. Looks like it's a...
Con, dive at 4-5 feet, dive high.
Could be a cash-in. Let's identify it as a
Con
cash-in.
sonar Master 3 is classified as escort.
There we go. Identifying Master 2. Identifying Master 1. Master 1 identifies as... difficult to say. It's only a small boat. Not a Sovereign even. Could have been... could be a Poti. Yeah, that would be about right. Very small, fast ship, so that's an anti-submarine ship.
Con sonar Master 1 is classified as escort.
Then we've got this one, which is likely our tender tanker. To Riga. I don't really know. Difficult to say at this range. be that. Could be. That wouldn't make sense. Alligator? Could be an alligator. That doesn't really make sense though. He's turning this way. Could be a Don. Yeah, it looks like a Don. I don't know how well you can see that on the stream, but there seems to be some kind of radar equipment up there that would match this vessel, so we'll identify it as a Don, and for the most part the lines seem to line up, at least at the lower end of the band.
Con sonar, Master 2 is classified as merchant.
Okay, lower the
Down
scope and bring our depth to 300 feet.
Make depth 300 feet. Dive I.
So we've established at least which one is the merchant, which is the target. We have 2 enemy anti-submarine ships between us and him though. So once we make our depth 300 feet, we are going to fire weapons at both the Poti and the Cashin in an attempt to sink them. Incoming helicopter, that is a negative. There we go. Target established. So yeah, it looks like a Don. We've also got the Poti here. It's almost like it's a very light attack boat, this. Only 580 tons. Nasty weapons there. And what looks to be a Cashin, which is right. Cruise missiles there, anti-submarine weapons and torpedoes. A nasty boat. They're travelling slow, they're just trying to detect stuff. The Poti, being such a light boat, rarely holds any kind of formation. See you later, Kernmeister. Any mines on those ships? No, but they have not depth charges. I can't remember what they're called, but they're like depth charges for guns. Like these things. What are they? These are basically rockets that they fire at you, and they're like depth charges. Basically, they're like cluster. I can't remember. They do have a name. Have I ever been on the Navy? No, I haven't. Big ice shelf there. This is a very quick boat. This is a bastard to kill. This is. Back under we go. So, we are now holding at 300 feet.
Con, dive at 300 feet. Dive I.
Okay, ready weapons 2 and 4, both set to passive search. Snaking, both set to shallow. Ready to fire on the bearing of Master 1, Poti. Range to enable 7,200 yards. Bearing 040. Ship ready, tube ready. Fire tube 2.
Shoot tube 2. Aye, sir.
Helm, set bearing 2, or set course to 048.
Helm right 2. 048. Helm aye.
Likely heard the launch transient of that. We've got a blast from enemy active sonar. Signature remains hidden for the most part, as we are far enough away. Prepare to fire tube 4. Aim on the bearing of the Cashin. Master 3. Range to enable 8,500 yards. Bearing 054. Ship ready, tube ready. Fire tube 4.
Shoot tube 4. Aye, sir.
Both weapons away. Wire maintained. Time to enable.
Helm. Steady course.
Or range to enable 8,200. Estimated time 4 minutes. There we go. Jesus, the treading water puns. Have I considered going into military service? No, I can't say I had, although retail is a war zone in itself. So the active sonar is still in the minus, that's right, which means we're not detected by the enemy's active search. They are also set to shallow, which means once they get up and above, they'll know what's up. Now the ships are turning and attempting to run, except the Poti, which is attempting to run ASB operations by slowing down and attempting to sound Horus out with his active sonar. We'll scare them a little bit when we come on. We'll set these both to active search, so when they enable, they'll go hunting. Let's just change the enable point of the Cashin. 056, 9.2 thousand yards, run to enable. Weapon 2 is closing on its enable point. Basically watch from in here now. This is basically what if we didn't have the third-person view, this is basically what the entire game would be like. So I kind of appreciate the third-person view. There we go. So the Poti doesn't stand a chance of detecting us. The Don doesn't have radar, and the cash-in is well out of range, supposedly. So yeah, unknown as of this time. The Don, interestingly, isn't going evasive, which is curious. We might actually end up sinking the Don. Let's change the enable point of this weapon. Let's stretch it out to 7,000 yards, bearing 038. It's true bribe, but they've added it so that they're snaking search, which makes them less... Because they're basically zigzagging left and right, it means that their straight line performance suffers a bit. And against a Poti, you want straight line performance. So, weapon 2, let's check on that. It is only 1.4 thousand yards from its enable point. It will then, once it reaches its enable point, go shallow. There we go, you can see the wash created there. He's nearly made it. No backup torpedo that you need to fire? I've got one in Tube 2 and an MOSS, but personally I won't need to fire them. The reason I'm not firing a backup torpedo, Cerelius, is that they've added a mechanic to the game, at least on the beta branch.
Fire control, weapon acquired.
Weapon acquired. Looks like it's enabled on the Don, the cargo ship. This is actually the one we intend to sink, so that's no problem. There's the Don. There's not much he can do here. He doesn't have any countermeasures. Not like the other two warships do. The other two warships may even turn around once they realise this one has been sunk, but they are not our priority targets. We do not need to send weapons after those two. This is the target, and they've failed to protect him. Here we go. The pings get closer together as the torpedo closes. Going to be right on the stern.
Con sonar lost contact. Master 2. Last bearing 028. Contact breaking up.
There we go. Hit on the stern of the Don. It's taking on water. The ass is already beginning to sag, and it's beginning to list to port. Nose is coming up out of the water. The other two ships are just hauling ass. We'll leave Weapon 4 to search, but I don't think it will find anything. Let's speed up game time. There we go. Rolls over.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
There we go. Weapon acquired on the cash-in. We'll at least get some more tonnage. The Poti we might load a UGM against. Let's fire a UGM at the Poti, see if we can't sink it. It's trying to run away. It does have countermeasures, but we will at least give it a go. There we go. Weapon running shallow, target acquired. Now we have 11 minutes of fuel left in this torpedo. This particular boat is not going to be able to evade us for 11 minutes. It just doesn't have that much fight in her. This weapon's going to catch up and it's going to sink her at this point. Brilliant. So UGM is being loaded. I'll show you the UGM launch. There we go, we're closing in. We're pulling a much faster speed than he is. He'll start going evasive as soon as he realises that he can't outrun it. He's basically just trying to stretch out the amount of time that it takes in order for the torpedo to reach him so that there's a chance that it will run out of fuel, but not in this case. There's 10 minutes of fuel, and we're going to be right on top of him a lot sooner than that. Here we go. And close that away. UGM is nearly ready. We'll fire that at the Poti as it's behind. Here we go.
Con, torpedo room.
Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 067.
So he's dropped a countermeasure. The weapon will reacquire him shortly unless he turns in on it.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Weapon acquired. Has he been able to outmaneuver it? We'll find out. No, this has got him dead to rights. Look at that fucking deja vu.
Con sonar, lost contact. Master 3, last bearing 069. Contact
Right.
breaking up.
UGM loaded. Fire on the bearing of the Oops, stand by. We need to bring to 200 feet.
Make depth 200 feet. Dive I.
Bring us ahead 2/3, 10 knots.
10 knots. Maneuvering I. Con maneuvering, making turns for 10 knots.
Yeah, look how much water this thing took on. The game speed isn't sped up here, that's how it sank. We literally blew a hole right in the front, tore its face off, and it's basically already sank. It can almost reach the bottom with still being above the water. So, we are now at 200 feet. Let's fire our UGM on the bearing of the Poti. Range to enable is going to be 15,000
Dive
yards.
At 200 feet. Dive I.
Fire tube 3.
Shoot tube 2. Aye,
Or
sir.
tube 2 even. Weapon is homing. So the Poti's somewhere ahead of us. There he is. Can you see him on the horizon there? Will he have enough time to evade? He's turning in. He might pop countermeasures. He knows it's coming. Will he be able to evade it though? I think he will. There we go. He's popped flares. Weapons still homing. Weapons falling out the sky.
Con sonar, lost contact. Master 1, last bearing 021. Contact breaking up.
He's just charging under the water. Da-da-da-da-da. All hands dive. Oh my god. He's just running man under. Jesus Christ. Good grief. There we go, down he goes. Jesus Christ. Right in the same place as well, what do you know? He went full Davy Jones there, he did. Cool. And there he goes, and suddenly all that was left of the Poti was a flaming oil stain on the surface of the Barents Sea. In fact, all that was left of the entire fleet was nothing more than a smokestack and a few pools of burning oil. And then, once this oil burns out, the fleet is no more. There's plenty of Soviet seamen. Sorry, that's phrasing. That aren't going to be coming back. Cool. Right, there we go. So, it was a Grisha, not a Poti. It was a Grisha 3. Bloody chat. Ocean Man. So, yep, Grisha 3, Krivak, and an Urga. Or an Ugra, even. Weapons remaining. 11 Mark 48 torpedoes, 2 MOSSs, and 7 UGM-84s. TSMs and TLAMs remain at 0. System damage is none. So, mission update. Superb effort in locating and eliminating the enemy's ability to replenish their submarine force at sea. Good work, and await further orders. We receive a commendation. The Secretary of the Navy expresses his heartfelt congratulations and takes great pleasure in awarding the Bronze Medal Star or the Bronze Star Medal even, to Commander Quebec, Commanding Officer of the USS Narwhal SSN 671. Citation: Commander Quebec is cited for extraordinary heroism in action against the enemies of the United States of America on the 5th of December 1984. His unwavering resolve and self-sacrificing devotion to duty in the face of death are worthy of the highest emulation. Perfect. Only bronze, yeah? Bronze 3. Wood 5. Wood 5 torpedoes. Cool. Gold or go home, exactly right. World news, 5th of December, safe seas. Several NATO naval groups have recently been operating unopposed. A Pentagon spokesman revealed that the enemy's ability to efficiently operate around the Barents Sea has been drastically diminished for reasons that remain classified. The United States Congress has called for more troops and armour to be made available for the conflict in Western Europe. Once deployed, it is expected these additional ground forces would halt the Soviet advance and bring a speedier end to the current crisis. Cool. There we go. So, tactical situation. Satellite recon has spotted enemy cruise missile submarines and several attack submarines preparing to sail within 72 hours. It is imperative that these SSGNs are sunk before they can strike NATO convoys transiting the North Atlantic. No other friendly units are in a position to intercept the enemy in time. Primary objective: locate and sink enemy cruise missile submarines. There we go. Continue on course. So we need to get out of the Barents Sea. We've been detected. ASB fleet. Oh, this could be nasty. Right. The banana sticker, that's right. Oh, let's stretch the legs. There we go. Oh, there we go. Noises. Old man noises at the age of 20. Right. Cool. Oh, scratch the old head. What time is it? 8:30. Not too bad. We'll keep going. So, Captain, we have a new sonar contact bearing 164. Designate Sierra 1. EXO reports our depth is 600 feet. Heading 215. Speed 20 knots. Local conditions are scattered with a moderate breeze. Weak surface duct and moderate thermal layer occupying range at 120 feet. With a ASB fleet, we're going to close to 20,000 yards. We're going to keep our distance. Rig ship for ultra quiet running.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Now, I didn't actually load the correct amount of torpedoes here. I didn't do that before the end of the last one. So let's hope it's just one. Otherwise, we could be in trouble. In fact, let's load them while we're further out here. Because we're quite far away from the target, we might have enough cloak, inverted commas, to stay alive. So let's check the conditions. Ambient noise is 88. Ocean floor holds at 111 feet. And the thermal duct holds at 120 feet. The thermal duct is a point in which there is a drastic change in temperature between surface and deep ocean water. It basically acts as almost like a mirror in regards to how sonar penetrates the water. And when you're below it, it's very difficult for people above the layer to detect you. So in this particular case, if it was enemy warships that were after us, we'd be doing pretty good, but I'm pretty safe in the assumption that we're fighting enemy submarines here.
Con, sonar, new contact bearing 161. Designated Sierra 1.
Sierra 1 is cavitating. Okay, so we need to identify this target and quickly. So, signature, quite strong, shining through. Let's begin searching submarines. So it's definitely a submarine. Which submarine is it? Not, is that a Kilo? I would disagree. This one doesn't quite line up. Tango, that looks more like it.
Con, sonar, Sierra 1 is classified as submerged submarine.
Okay, so the Tango looks to be right on top of us, 3,500 yards. If that is right...
Con, torpedo room, tube 4 ready.
Then if he goes active, he will spot us. So let's just get poised and ready to fire tube 4 at the Tango. Rig ship for classy dinner, Jesus. What is happening? What is chat doing? Rig ship for... Oh god, sinking seaman. Wrestling. Rush B? There is a Rush B mission. I shit ye not. Right. Okay, so the target motion analysis on the Tango isn't particularly strong. Sonar reckons he's 3.3 thousand yards out, with a target solution of 36%. So, curious, isn't it? Negative. A threshold of 10 will result in detection. That's right. So yeah, if that... so if he goes medium frequency... Basically, at the moment, we're invisible. Because we're in the negatives. If he goes medium frequency active, though, if he begins blasting with active sonar, he'll detect us. I believe that's how that works. Or maybe it has something to do with this. I do not know. But I'm pretty sure that's how it works, or that's how I've been told it works. Truth be told, I don't know. I'm taking somebody else's word for it entirely there. Ooh. Do you think Wales can... Jesus Christ. Not going to keep reading
Con,
that.
torpedo room, tube 2 ready.
Right.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Rigging ship for ultra quiet. Low frequency passive just got very, very low. But the ultra quiet rigging just saved our ass and brought us back down to -10. So we're back in the hush hush silent now. Cool. That was roughly correct. Cool. Rig ship for ultra loud. There we go. Target motion's improving. Solution holding at 40%. I'm based on my experience in this game as a professional computer gamer. Yeah, right. I would say that this Tango isn't alone. He's probably with another submarine that's running even quieter than he is. Tango, let's take a look at his weapon arsenal. He's a 3,800 ton, 91 meter submarine, obviously. It's not particularly powerful. Well, no, it is actually. It's a pretty it's got a lot of stuff in it. It's quite small though. 62 crew. Obviously only 91 meters. Test depth is 985 feet, but I don't believe the water's even that deep, so that's not a problem. At 130 decibels, it is very quiet. So we're lucky we detected it at all, frankly. We're going to hold on our current course. You did. You started this, Momo. You brought them all down to this level. Have you ever done the cruise missile missions to attack ports or land targets? I've never done them. Like, I've never actually had the mission, because I usually play the skipjack submarine, which doesn't have that mission because it can't load TLAMs. Ooh, God. Low frequency passive is hovering around where it should be. As I say, in any other ship we might have actually been detected already, but because the Narwhal was a one-off sort of super quiet version of the I think of what, I don't even know what class of submarine it was a variation of. I think it was an entirely unique design. So how many... Oh, active ping. Right, fire on the contact of the Tango. There's almost no doubt that he saw us there. Snapshot, tube 2, bearing of the Tango, range to enable 800 yards.
Shoot tube 2. Aye, sir.
Con, sonar, launch transient from Sierra 1.
Launch transient from Sierra 1, A-firm. Bring us ahead to a head flank.
Make
Point us
turn
away
forward.
from the Tango.
2,
Bring
5,
us northwest.
9. Maneuvering eye.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Weapon acquired. We've got an enemy weapon homing on us.
Come right to 028. Helm eye. Come left to 252. Helm eye.
There we go. Target acquired. Tango. He currently has the wire on the torpedo that he's
sonar
fired at
lost
us.
Contact. Sierra 1. Last bearing 134. Contact is in the baffles.
So we lost the
sonar
wire.
regain. Come right to 323. Helm I. Come right to 047. Helm I.
So we're going evasive. We're going to assume that he's lost the wire, which he has. His torpedo doesn't seem to be changing
sonar
course.
regained contact on Sierra 1. Bearing 130.
Let's try and put some distance between us and that weapon.
Con, helm, steady course. Con sonar, noisemaker, bearing 133. Con, maneuvering, making turns for 25 knots.
Weapon has changed course.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1, last bearing 135. Contact breaking up.
Well, he's definitely not driving it now because he's fucking dead. RIP! Again, we're just going evasive. We're just zigzagging to avoid the weapon. Perfect. There's the enemy torpedo. No other enemy vessels nearby according to sonar, so it could just be that he was travelling alone. Either way, these are not the ships that we're here to sink,
Tube 2 ready.
and so avoiding contact is a priority. We don't necessarily need to sink everything we come across. The next 62 people are in fact dead. There we go. Scary stuff. Oh, dearie me. There we go, so their weapon just went active. It's entering a snaking search. Or no, it isn't. It's entering a circular search. Although we have enough distance from the target so that it is not acquired me as a contact, which means we are home free. So let's speed up time and get ourselves away. Wait for that weapon to blow up or open enough distance that we are safe. So there we go.
Con, less than 50 feet below the keel.
Oh, there we go. We're starting to shallow out. So it's getting even shallower here. Right, weapons are nearby.
Passing 400 feet.
Con sonar, we are cavitating.
Let's bring it to a head standard.
Make turn. Con sonar, no longer cavitating.
And let's bring us up to 300
Make
feet.
depth 300 feet. Dive I.
Just got to wait for that weapon back.
Passing 300 feet.
Wait for that weapon back there to fade, and then we'll be good. Scrape the underside, yeah, that will clean some of the barnacles off it. These little things here are actually the torpedo tubes. I was like looking at the front of it like, where did the torpedoes come out? They come out just there. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Thank you, Dex. Cheers, mate. DexyX. Sir and or madam. Cool, we're far enough away. Leave combat. 1 times enemy tango engaged and sunk. Excellent initiative, but this was not our target. We got another submarine fleet. Fantastic. Yeah, we definitely got counter-detected by either a satellite or an enemy air patrol or something, but they know we're here. So we're going to have to keep knife fighting them, I'm afraid. So another submarine contact has just appeared. Close to 20,000 yards, rigged to ultra quiet.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
How's the water here? Slightly deeper at least, just slightly though. No rear tubes, no, priest, not at all. Or, why did I say priest? Your name's Dust. I don't know. Yes, so no rear tubes, Dust. Actually, where am I? Did I bring my glasses home with? I think I did. Where did I put them? My glasses downstairs. Did I? I must have done, because they ain't here. Just realised I can't see arse, basically. I can't see anything. Oh well. Never mind. It was a unique submarine, correct? Right then, so we've slowed down to 5 knots. It's 104 decibels, which poses us with a unique problem. That means if a quiet enemy submarine is running in this environment, we will probably never hear them with passive sonar because there is so much background noise. We've broken 3 figures. It is quite loud, exactly. So, really the only way we're going to find anything here is with active sonar, which basically implies that we need to be shot at, which is a problem. So, there really is nothing for it. I might bring us... Oh, sorry. Sorry. I might bring... Terribly unprofessional. Yeah, I might bring us ahead to, oh, I don't know. Bollocks to it, really. I might bring us... what does this button do? Oh, does that center... Oh, that centers me. That's cool. The more you know. Is that... Yeah, look at that. Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. I might... If I bring us to ahead 2/3...
Make turns for 10 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Let's, oh, that yawn was contagious.
Maneuvering. Making turns for 10 knots.
Right, we're going to go active and see if we get any returns.
Con sonar. Switching to active search.
Ready to fire on tube 2. If anyone's out there, they'll hear this. This is louder than the background noise. I just heard a launch transient, no visual.
Con sonar. Switching to passive search.
I heard a launch transient. I heard a torpedo I heard torpedo discharge. To the right. I agree, but where is it? Not running shallow, it's not running deep. No visual on anything. There it is. Enemy weapon tracking us. From miles over the right hand side, it looks like. I'm not going to ghost him, so I know there's a weapon coming, but I don't know exactly where it's coming from. It's definitely shallow, and they definitely heard me. Well, it's not ghosting. I heard the launch transient, so we're going to speed up.
Make turns for 25 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Let's
Come
pull
left to 284. Helm aye.
A little cheating, yeah. A little cheating never hurts. Well, if the game gives you the resources to do it, then I consider it taking part. But yeah, that is a little bit of a cheatsy move. I'll give myself that one. I'll minus 10 points.
Con helm.
Yeah.
Steady course.
Aren't I worried about hitting a whale? No. I don't think so. Hashtag submarine jokes. I like it. We might even see this weapon beginning to buzz in soon. Like I say, it's running shallow. You'll just see some bubbles, some turbulence somewhere in the distance. And then you know the deed is done. Looks like we can't really fight these guys. We're just going to have... There. Let's fire a counter weapon back in the direction of that. So that's off to our 90. Let's fire a counter torpedo. Range to enable 10,000 yards. Bearing 9-1.
Fire control, we've lost the wire.
We have lost the wire, but it will run to that range and then it will begin a snake search. So we're basically covering our arse here.
2-5 knots.
So we've pointed this weapon in the direction of the torpedo that's coming in, and now we're attempting to have the weapon passively acquire the target. Yeah, you like my tuning job, yeah? Good stuff. Quebec and door, that's it. Rip wire, that's right, wire's gone. Target's still tracking us. The thing is, they've fired their torpedoes so far away, and we're pulling max speed now, because we heard the transient. Basically, what this means is that because he's moving slightly faster than I am, but I'm still moving quite quickly, the combined effect is that he has to run his weapon for a very long time, which gives us increased chances of evading it. There's almost no doubt that his torpedo will find its mark. Almost no doubt. Like this, I think the enemy knows exactly where we are, but this is how it's got to be. With such high ambient noise, we have to get him to fire at us and then fire at whatever he's got left, basically. Our torpedo has vanished off of our map. Hopefully it finds the target. It may not, it may do. Who truly knows? Truly knows exactly what's going to happen, because I don't.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Oh, I don't know how much longer I'm going to stream for without falling unconscious in my chair. Oh, God. But at least it's gonna be a decent day at the office tomorrow. Decent day at work. Enemy weapon just went active. It is beginning a snaking search. Or is that circular or snaking? Looks to be circular, which means he may have lost us. Should we go full ASMR? Shall I just like radio cast the voice? Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's go the full ASMR. Oh, yeah, there, no, breaking things. Yeah, oh, there you go. Yeah, the full ASMR experience. There we go. Cool. Rig ship for unconsciousness. Good God. Sweet. Am I too loud now, am I? Is that... ISO asking the real questions there. Truthfully, I don't know. I need to whisper. Okay, I'll whisper. I was going to make a really loud noise then, but the fucking old fart of a neighbour is probably already asleep, so... I could lower my volume a little bit. Does that need to be done? I don't know. The full ASMR experience. You really get the reverb here. This is me talking directly into the mic. I should really do this more often. Like I've got it set up literally like a Radio Shack kind of thing. You know, one of those. Oh Christ! There we go. The full ASMR, you're going to tap your fingernails against anything in your immediate vicinity. There we go. There we go. How's that? Do I qualify? Did I get the job? Fair enough. Cool. Oh, God. Struth, I'm tired. Oh, my
Sonar, noisemaker, bearing 102.
Perfect. Does that mean what I think it means? I think it does. I think our passive weapon that we fired behind us found a target. because an enemy submarine has dropped a countermeasure. So, punch the mic. No, there we go. I've just given safe people. Don't punch though, just headbutt it straight through.
On sonar, noisemaker bearing.
Breathe
1,
slowly into the
0,
mic.
3.
No, sorry, it's terrible. It's disgusting. Another noisemaker deployed. Let's just have a drink. There you go. You get to. There we go. Let's go for that HD soundbite recording. Lovely. It sounds like you're taking a piss. But never slurp again. I could turn the gain up to like maximum and you can hear my heartbeat. Like the Blue Yeti is truly fucking ridiculous. Right, okay, well, did we actually find our mark? Did we sink a target? I'm starting to think that we're going to sink a target very soon. Let me see. No, maybe we did sink one. Let's leave combat. Foxtrot and Tango, both undetected. Looks like they evaded our weapon, but we will continue. Please resume with your objective. Get me the fuck out of here. I need to go. Fuck. There's another one. New sonar contact bearing 1. We're in the Lion's Den here. Designated Sierra 1. EXO reports 600 feet depth. Obligatory. 15,000 yards.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Rig ship for ultra quiet. It is dark. Very dark. Passive noise is 94 decibels. That's not hopeless, and we're starting to get into some slightly deeper water, which is great. I like the deep water. Oh, we're dropping frames. We're dropping frames like it's hot. No, we're not.
Our new
Ooh.
contact bearing 1,
Suddenly.
0, 4. Designated Sierra 1.
This is very weak. Oh, it's an alpha. Hello, friend.
Con sonar Sierra 1 is classified as submerged submarine.
Some people really like the alpha. And I'd say I'm one of these people. It is an incredibly fast submarine. It pulls 42
Con
knots.
sonar Sierra 1 is cavitating.
I doubt we've been detected yet. Yeah, there's no even his active sonar isn't going to detect us at this range. Lovely. Perfect. Well, we could actually get ourselves an alpha kill here, but we're going to have to get closer than this, so let's point the alpha.
0, 2, helm I.
Hashtag not PUBG. I don't know. I think this is going to have to be my last one before I slither off to bed and just die. It's alright. I don't know what we're going to be playing tomorrow. We could be playing like, well, we could be playing piss in anything, to be honest. Sorry, really shit streamer. I'm checking Twitter. Right.
Helm, steady course.
Cool. Play PUBG tomorrow. Sub G confirmed. I like it. Yes, Mark. It's like a submarine simulator. Cool. I don't know when I became ZF's indie gamer guy. I don't know when it happened, but it did. And I don't even play indie games. I just play good games. Good games that other people don't play. Tucking Quebec into bed simulator. Oh. I'd love that. Oh, yes. Oh, God, yeah, I would. Sorry, I can't help it. I can't stop yawning. Imagine if you had an Astute class submarine instead. There is a modded version of the Astute class submarine in the game. No, there isn't. That's a lie. It's not in the game because it's a mod. Go figure. But yeah, it's one of those ones. You can oh, a nice big snort there. Yeah. Isn't Womble like a worse version of Quebec? You're damn right. Damn right. Where was I? So I was about to make a point then, and I just. Is the alpha really only 4 clicks out? No, surely not. Surely niet. It does not believe it. Is he still staying shallow? No, he's at the same depth as us. He's not detected us, has he? No. Off to bed. Am I going to fire a missile? Not against a submarine. I don't have any ASB missile systems on this. I've only got a UGM. Yes, the communist West Midlands. You're right. He's not detected us here. Boom, a boom. Yeah, this could be an. I don't trust Sonar's reading here saying that this is 3.7 thousand yards. I think it's much longer than that. Hang on. Sec. I just need to mute my mic briefly. Give me a moment. Cool. Right, sorry about that. I've had a call to arms, mum, and everything like that, so I gotta go downstairs and put the dishes through the sink, literally slam them straight through. So yeah, that'll be fun. So I'll probably do that after. In fact, that's a good time to call it. So after we've dealt with this alpha, I'll go downstairs, do that, and then we'll sort everything else. What a switch whiff at switch whiff switch. Not got my glasses on. Switch something. Asks, at what age did you realise you were the son of a 90s movie trailer voiceover guy? In a word, no. I don't know. A few years ago? The first time I opened my mouth in a maths class in year 7, the first thing somebody said to me was, "You're a right posh cunt, aren't you?" So, I don't know. About then, perhaps? In a few years, I think. So, yeah. And I'm not, so yeah. Yeah, laugh it up. Yeah, fucking hell. You're right, push. Yeah, literally fucking slapped and scolded, mate. It's Switch Wolf without the O. Thank you. My glasses. I can read that. I couldn't tell whether there was a dot on the I or not, or whether it was all one letter. We now know. Yeah, Quebec's voice has never changed. This was like I've always had this voice from the age of 1. I had this voice. Yeah, in the maternity ward, they thought they were listening to like Smooth FM. It wasn't. It was just me crying. There we go. Perfect. I don't think we're going to actually catch this alpha. I'm not entirely sure whether we're going to be able to. I can't get a solid TMA motion analysis on him, so let's just change our heading.
Come left to 080, helm I.
Basically, if your target's motion analysis isn't improving, you need to change direction and depth. So we are going to drop another 100 feet.
Make depth 700 feet, dive I.
Hello, mother. Smooth like a baby's butthole isn't actually Gambit. That is calf. You are misquoting there. Yes, and it's the quote is smooth as a baby's arsehole. He tried to say smooth as a baby's bottom, but got it very, very wrong. And that was calf, not Gambit.
Helm, steady course.
I remember because it's extremely funny. in a word. Cool. I roasted the misquote, mate. In fact, it's one of my pet hates, actually. I'm going to go on. You've triggered me now. No, it's when somebody says, oh, there was this really funny bit from this film that I watched, and I've watched the film, and then they tell me the funny bit, but they sell it to me in the most broken, mixed up, backwards, convoluted, horrible thing. Like, they don't use any of the original words. The fucking... the dialogue is all broken. It just does it's like actually it's their joke, and then I have to go in afterwards and say, yeah, didn't he say X, Y, yeah, because oh god, honestly, there's a fishing line and I'm on the end of it at that point. Honestly, it does just it's like nails on chalkboard for me. I can't do it. The Alpha's at 0 knots. He's stopped. It's not right. He's definitely moving. He says. Maybe he has started. Yeah, look, he's definitely moving. We're just going to have to wait for our target motion to improve. And we booted their rear quarters, damn right. Can you be armed with nuclear missiles? Yes, you can. Only in this boat, I think we can. I'm pretty sure we can. I don't really see anywhere to shoot them out of, unless maybe there is a thing. Could be, I don't know. Unless we shoot them out the torpedo tubes and they fly up. Cool. Either the sonar crew are off their faces or that sub is just sitting there. Oh, it's definitely moving. The sonar signature's moving, only it's moving away from us. Target solution isn't really improving, so let's bring us forward. Let's bring us up. Let's rig out of ultra quiet.
Make turns for 6 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Let's bring us up to 6 knots. I might actually switch to active sonar, see if I can provoke a response from him, because at the minute we're really not improving our TMA, and I have to go and wash up. So, maybe it's 0.4 knots or something. Interestingly enough, the Alpha does have creep motors. Google that. Basically, you see how I've got like this horizontal set of planes here. The Alpha has its main propeller, but it's very noisy because it uses an automated propeller, experimental, yada yada stuff, basically. But it has 2 very tiny propellers here called creep engines, creep motors or something, and they basically allow the ship to creep along silently at literally 1 or 2 knots. So I think that can do. Dishes can wait. Fucking UK disaster, is that your name? Yeah, fucking Brexit boogaloo. Yeah, fucking hell. Liquid, yeah, liquid metal coolant reactor. Think about how loud that shit is. Yeah, exactly. Creep planes, yes. Banging your head against the wall burns 150 calories an hour. Burns 150 brain cells a hit. I don't know. I can't afford that kind of hemorrhage. Oh, the target solution is ever so slightly improving. Help! It's gonna take forever. I'm gonna be old man. I'm gonna be even more of an old man. This is 61. We have his course. He's coming. He's coming this way.
Come right to 131 helm aye. Come right to 113 helm aye.
Let's close the line. I see you're in great shape. Who told you that? Right.
Con helm.
At the minute, I'm just pointing him so that I can just close distance to improve my TMA leg, if you like. I just want to get a bit closer so that I can continue the TMA analysis. Headbutt him. Sharpen the nose. Sharpen the radar cone and sonar cone and just stab him with it. What you do is you sharpen the planes and then you use them like chariot bodicirs and you just cut him in half. what's that vein on the what's that vein for on U sub? Well, Dust. Well. It's this weird thing I imagine here. Basically, there's something called a towed array, which is literally a yoke of very, very sensitive instruments designed for detecting enemy vessels and submarines and stuff like that. But because basically the equipment that it uses is so sensitive, it cannot be actually stored on the ship because your own ship creates so much interference. So, as the name might suggest, there is literally a yoke of instruments towed behind the ship by about a mile, literally really far away, so that there's no interference, and it's a very fine-tuned way of trying to identify contacts. TMA analysis, yes, it's twice the analysis. So yeah, that's what that is. Basically, because the original ship, the original Narwhal, didn't have one, but this is like a post modification. You know, this is an upgrade kit. Yeah, rip grammar. Welcome to the Department of Redundancy Department. I like that. Well, he's definitely only using his creep motors, and he's definitely that close. So we're just gonna fucking surprise him. Basically, we're just gonna fire right in his fucking face before he gets any speed up. So he's using his creep motors now. We're going to fire 1x weapon at him. Our signature is actually positive. He has detected us, but he's not firing because he doesn't have a strong enough solution. So we're going to fire a weapon into his face. Ship ready, tube ready, shoot, tube 3.
Shoot tube 3. Aye, sir.
Con sonar, launch transient from Sierra 1.
Con, fire control, weapon
There we go. He's right there.
5 knots. Maneuvering eye.
We've got an incoming weapon. Here we go. There he goes. Panic! We were so close.
Con sonar, launch transient from Sierra 1.
He's firing another torpedo. Let's snapshot him.
Shoot tube 4. Aye, sir.
Let's fire an MOSS in his direction.
Con sonar, torpedo in the water, torpedo in the water, bearing 152.
Let's bring planes to maximum. Let's get some raise.
Passing 600 feet.
We need to get another
Passing
MOSS in the
500
tube.
feet.
Reload and reload.
Con sonar, we are cavitating.
Bring us up, 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 up,
Passing
up.
300 feet. Passing 200 feet. Passing 100 feet.
We've surfaced. That doesn't matter. Let's get ourselves back down. So we just poked our head up above the water. I'm trying to just stay as close to the top as I can. Basically, all of those weapons that he fired at us are getting sucked up on his hull. There are 2 additional weapons that have also gotten lost over there. I'd call that a successful evasion, chaps. We just evaded 4 enemy weapons. There we go. There we go. That's perfect. We made it out. And this fucker lies with a few holes in the ocean. That's our submarine simulator. That's the thing that literally just saved our life then. Because all of that, it just literally sinks in the sand. There we go. Well, gets deleted, but sinks in the sand. So he was hit by 1, 2, 3 torpedoes then. Because we fired them in such close proximity. Bearing in mind, we fired 2 torpedoes there, so at least one of his own torpedoes came back and hit himself. And there's an additional 2 torpedoes traversing over there. So we just successfully evaded that. That was really good. Overkill much? Yeah. Yeah, he got hit by one of his own. Yeah, if you kill the alpha, you become the alpha. It makes me the alpha male. We're the alpha male because, frankly, we fucked him. Yeah, that's it. Good shit. Well. I am the beater. He did. He played himself. He was trying to get... I reckon he was banking on the fact that we didn't detect him because we... Basically, he was using his creep motors, those tiny little propellers. I don't know whether we'll be able to see them, actually. There you go. You see these? Tiny little propellers at the back. So that's his main one, but he's got these two tiny ones, and he was using those to creep along at less than a knot, staying almost silent. Yeah, well, it didn't pay off for him because we just blurted a torpedo at his face. Stop hitting yourself, yeah. Yvette loves to be under the sea level and full of semen. Yep, it's gross. Right, okay, cool.
Con,
Right.
torpedo room, tube 1 ready.
There are still weapons nearby, so let's speed up time. Let's GTFO, and I think I'm going to call this session right there. Don't let go, Jack. That's right.
Con, torpedo room, tube 3 ready.
Just got to put enough distance between me and the weapons. Trying to sink the dishes, damn straight. Got some tishes? And tishes to torpedo. No! I've killed about 612 and I'm there 30 minutes after the stream started and one torpedo. Beautiful. Torpedo those dishes. Absolutely right. Cool, right, we're going to leave combat. 7 Mark 48s remaining. Excellent results, but unfortunately this was not our target. Let's just save that there. Okay, well that's saved without any visual confirmation that it has. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this quick, not PUBG live stream. Yeah. If you're a new kid on the block, do obviously feel free to hit the old the follow button. Not that we don't need you. It's fine. You can stay with Womble. You didn't want to be here anyway. It's all right. So yeah, cool. I don't know when we're next going to be playing this. We'll probably be playing some Long Dark tomorrow. I'm off to do some chores and then I'm going to crawl into bed and cry the sorrows of the day away. So yeah, cool. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you for the next stream. What do you mean this is PUBG? I am alpha as fuck. Cool. Sub G, yes. Sub G streams. I like it. Sweet. Have a nice night, everyone. Or morning, depending on where you're at. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Cool. Take care, guys.